Alright, I already took the pump bolts out because somebody's been into this and they rounded the crap out of the bolts, and I thought I was going to have to chisel it out. Came close to it, but I did get it off. Dowel pin for the engine block stayed in the tranny, and make sure those are back in there. Go ahead and pull our lockup O-ring off. I silicone the crap out of this thing. Just makes more work. Our pump plate, make sure it's not scored up where the gears go. Normally this just comes right out. Since they siliconed it, it's going to make it tougher. There's a 2-valve and a 4-valve pump. The on-off lockup pump has a 2-valve. The way you tell the difference is if there's a check ball on the end here, that's an on-off lockup. Make sure pump gears are okay. The dot's going to face up. This recess is going to face down. Your outer gear, the square cut side is going to face up. The bevel is going to face down. Dots up. Make sure we're not all scored up in here. If the gear looks okay, you're usually okay. Fill up in here, make sure your crescent's okay. These pump washers and the center support washer are horrible about breaking. Seeing somebody's already been in here, it looks like they've been replaced. With the spacer, our overdrive clutches. There's a bearing that goes right here. Washer on the back side. Make sure our teeth are okay. And a place for it. You need a pair of snap ring pliers. Pull that off. Our input shaft will come out. Our sun gear, the short side faces in. Actually, that's wrong. The long side faces in, so they had this in backwards. Our pinions are okay on our Planet. Overrun Clutch. Usually there's only one in here. Make sure your cushion plate's not broke. I've seen quite a few broken. $10mm on the speed sensor. $8mm Allens on the tail housing. It helps to have a long one. mechanism. Here's our spring. Need a pair of snap ring pliers to get in here. Hopefully they didn't put the snap ring in backwards, because it is hard enough to get out without it being backwards. There we go. Usually I find it easiest to just start it, because normally it won't come out. Every once in a while it will, but if you can spread it far enough and pull on this gear to get it past the snap ring groove, it works better. And it was in upside down. Now, I've seen quite a few of these that don't want to slide off of here, and I've had to pretty much take a rubber mallet and beat the output shaft out of it. Down here, this accumulator cover. Somebody siliconed the crap out of it. You just gotta love this crap. This would have never kept it from leaking anyway if it was gonna leak.
Hey.
What's up?
All right, man.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Alright, see if I got enough silicone out of there. And then you need a pair of snap ring pliers. It's best to do this before you take this off, and I usually do this before I even take the pump off. Since I got all this built up into there, it's going to be a chore. See if we can knock that back in a little bit. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I get my big pry bar. And this one came out pretty easy. A lot of times this comes out pretty hard. They probably reused this, that's why it came out so easy, and that's why they were afraid it was going to leak. Here's our spring. Accumulator and accumulator pin down in here. You do need to check this on the pin and make sure it's not wobbling back and forth. Alright, some of these you can get this overdrive housing off without pulling the pans off. Some you can't because the wires come through here and go into here. I don't take these over to the foot press because it just makes a mess. So what I do is I get a rag on here and I get me a screwdriver and get on the tip of that snap ring and I just pop it off. Of course, now I don't want to do it. Because I got it on camera every stinking time. Alright, our snap ring, our retainer, our springs. All these springs and all the drums are the same, so you don't have to worry about getting them mixed up. Pull our piston out, 13 millimeters. This bushing is prone to wearing out, so you need to be careful with it. There's no sealing rings on this drum, so this bushing has to be in really good shape for this drum to seal. It can be one of the causes for the band to keep burning up. Here's a lube orifice that goes in here. It's plastic, be careful with it, especially if it's been overheated. Don't want to break that. I usually just keep it off to the side. 10 millimeters on our pump, on our pan. I just silicone the crap out of everything. I usually just leave the wiring harness on here, on the valve body end of it. There is a tab that you need to spread out to unplug this. Right there. A lot of times that tab will break off. If it does, you just need to pay attention to where it was, because when you pull this out to put the O-rings on it, you're going to want to put it back exactly the way it was. Because if not, you're going to create a problem. Your wiring is going to be plugged in wrong and it ain't going to work worth the crap. Alright, it just broke, so it's normally what happens anyway. $13 millimeters on the valve body. If you have the wrong gaskets on, luckily it didn't have a check ball. If it had a check ball in here, it would have never worked right. If there's two holes right here in this plate, then it takes a check ball there. Just take a screwdriver and push off your snap ring for your retainer here. There we go. Our return spring. I think they put the wrong lip seal on here. It shouldn't be that hard to come out. I just love getting units after somebody's been into them. Okay. See if we can drive this thing out of there. Okay, finally. Yeah, I think it's the wrong one. Looks like it's sticking out too far. Alright, this washer prone to breakage too. Reverse clutches. Make sure your cushion plate's not broke. Spacer. Planetary system. Make sure it's not pitted. Here's a bearing and washer that go down in here that sit on the back of that sun gear right there. Our band drum. Almost always the band's burnt, and this one's so-so. Bearing in the back of the case. Alright, I'm going to do an LS kit, a filter, pump bushing, band, Supplier K 4L30E kit, Transgo SK 4L30E, an EPC solenoid, and then my torque converter is a GM85. Snap ring, ring gear, another snap ring, spacer, this end down, second clutches. Should have actually air checked this. These are burnt. Make sure cushion plate's okay. Should have air checked this and made sure my drum wasn't cracked. Let me go take the snap ring out of here. Here's snap ring, retainer, all of our springs. Everything being difficult. When this drum cracks, it'll leak right around in here. Go ahead and take this apart, and then we'll take that last drum apart. $10mm on the pan again. I think they put enough silicone on it. $13mm. Filter bolts are the same as the valve body bolts, so you don't have to worry about them. I always replace both shift solenoids and the band solenoid. Usually there's a little tab here that you need to release to get this wiring harness off. Our linkage. Two check balls. Seven sixteenths or 11 millimeter. There's another check ball in here. Snap ring for a reverse servo. It's going to pop up out of there. Spring, a little plunger, and our case is empty. This drum here, the snap ring that holds it in is right down in here. I make a tool for it. And I don't know, remember where I got it. Transtar, I think. Anyway, it's got a little tool that you use to push in here. Sometimes this doesn't fit, so I just use a scribe. And you can make your own tool. You don't have to buy one if you don't want to. I just bought it because I didn't feel like making it at the time. All it is thin pieces of wire. You can make it out of like a feeler gauge or something like that. I use a scribe to push it in. It originally came with 6 of these. You just push the snap ring in, slide that between the snap ring and the drum. And seeing as I don't have 6 of them anymore, usually I have to find where the snap ring is not quite all the way out and push it in. While I'm pulling out on the drum, or on the sun gear, I mean. There we go. Be careful when you pull this out because they will go flying. That's how I lost a couple of mine. Stuff just has a way of disappearing. Our sprag is turning clockwise, locking counterclockwise. Our clutches. There's a race and a bearing. There's another race up in here. If it don't want to come out, usually I'll just leave it in there. Cushion plate, dish up. There's our snap ring, our retainer, our springs, and our piston. Now, in one of the rebuild videos I've done, I've got two out there. There's one's the on-off and one's the PWM. I want to say that's the on-off one, but I'm not for sure. But it's in the description. I know a lot of people don't read the description. But it's in the description. It's also in the subtitles that I put this in upside down. I got the wrong edit in the video. So make sure that your dish is facing up. Alright, let me go write this one up and I'll be back.